Why your safe life is a loneliest prison. Imagine a life that is perfectly, meticulously curated. A hyper-luxury glass apartment overlooking a silent city. It looks like a sanctuary, but in reality, it's completely sterile. It's weightless. This is the architecture of modern isolation. We're going to examine this clinical atmosphere. We need to dissect the ghost in the machine.
There is a deeply unsettling concept we have to confront. The idea that this social greenhouse is actually the death of the soul, carefully disguised as peace. Think about it. We spend our modern lives over-curating our boundaries. We build these walls, convinced we're creating a sanctuary, but they actually form a clinical prison. We meticulously strip away the natural friction required to stay fundamentally human. The social greenhouse paradox argues that complete, curated safety isn't tranquility. It's a slow, silent erasure.
When we suffer from safe life atrophy, our minds react just like a lush plant sealed inside a laboratory bell jar. Cut off from the elements, it turns translucent. Real data on modern isolation shows this. Just look at the massive spikes in chronic loneliness across anonymous forums. People describe feeling entirely invisible, despite having perfect, impenetrable boundaries. By curating our lives into clinical walls, we lose social hormesis. We lose the low-level social stressors that keep our psychological muscles engaged. In our perfectly controlled safety, we become weightless ghosts in our own lives. And the deepest tragedy is that we lose the ability to perceive safety in others.
The safety trap finally closes. The glass simply frosts over from the inside. Your reflection vanishes, leaving you entirely alone. Stage 2. The vending machine. When the isolation becomes unbearable, panic sets in. But instead of seeking real connection, we build a performative glass castle. We project a simulated social confidence. We treat active listening like a PR campaign. We essentially wear a porcelain mask to manage our image. There is absolutely no skin in the game. Genuine connection requires the exact opposite: uncurated interaction, shared risk, true unguarded physical presence. Yet in our desperate search for warmth, we almost always choose the porcelain mask.
This creates a transactional nightmare. The social vending machine loop. You input the correct active listening gesture. You receive a superficial social coin, and you maintain the mechanical illusion. It is a terrifyingly empty cycle. It's like inserting a coin into someone's chest, waiting for a mechanical, wide-eyed nod. Zero actual warmth. Just executing social code, completely devoid of human resonance. Which leads us to a chilling question. Are you connecting, or are you just acting? Imagine reaching the 15-minute mark of a conversation and realizing that the mirrored castle you built around yourself is completely empty. You've collected thousands of social coins. You've flawlessly executed the gestures, but you are entirely alone. The warmth was always artificial. You aren't connecting, you are acting.
Eventually, the shatter comes. The illusion simply cannot hold the weight of human necessity. The mirrored walls explode outward.
Stage 3. The iron pillar. So what is the cure? It is a concept called social hormesis, the purposeful introduction of uncurated social friction, injecting low-level stressors back into your life to cure the soul and stay human. It sounds clinical, it sounds brutal, but it is the absolute cure to the greenhouse. You must embrace the storm. You have to actively trade the weightless safety of the glass apartment for the grounding, undeniable gravity of the iron pillar.
To cure the atrophy, you have to do the grueling work, carrying the heavy things, dragging yourself through the high-friction mud of reality. This means willingly entering uncurated spaces, engaging with open disagreement, sitting in heavy, uncomfortable silence, and most importantly, offering true, unguarded physical presence. It is grueling work. It is heavy. The weight remains. The friction remains. And that is exactly the point of the storm.
It ultimately comes down to a final trade. You can choose the greenhouse, safe, sterile, and weightless, but painfully isolated. Or you can actively choose the storm. High contrast, dark, and heavy. Grounded, undeniable, and deeply real. You must trade the greenhouse for the storm. You must actively choose the rust and the rain.
I leave you with this final, sobering thought: the success paradox. Once you gain the gravity of the iron pillar, you solve your isolation by becoming a heritage the greenhouse no longer recognizes. The people still trapped in the safety of that glass room will look at you and see a stranger. You gain the weight of the real world,
but you can never go back to the ghost town.